I wasn't going to bring this up, but I thought it would be a good
Mm,
to touch on.
do it. Oh, you don't. What was it? Oh, wait. No, wait.
Casting the other character was a bit of a journey for the both of us.
Yeah, I'm Ruby and I played Bonnie in Roach. I met Angelica, the writer, director, producer, on from another short film that actually didn't end up getting made at the time, but then she brought me this other project called Roach. I read it and I just remember falling in love with it. The the style of it and the story really drew me in. But also the fact that I love like a pressure cooker situation, one location, two characters focusing on their journey. And yeah, I love the subtleties and the horror element as well, really resonated with me. Paul, who played Mr. Roach, gave me so much. So I did never felt like I was playing solo, which was so lucky. And, a lot of actors might see it as just, oh, I'm just the voice, I'm just delivering lines. And it was never that case with Paul. What was great, we had a bit of rehearsal time beforehand as well. And so we discussed backstory, character work. It was a absolute luxury and joy to be able to play with him. He gave me a lot. And I hope I gave him enough to work with back because it's almost harder for him as well because he wants to translate what he's feeling, but he's got, no visual on him, on his face directly. But yeah, that was really interesting and I really enjoyed that part as well. Out of there. Which I think a lot of people probably would have felt, but those are the best things when you're on the edge of your seat. And that was also a great journey with Bonnie of like, why does she stay? And it's her age as well, youth, trusting, a bit of naivety, but that determination in her as well, I really loved and admired that she was like, no, I'm gonna stick this through. I'm gonna do it. But that's the classic horror element as well. Like, oh my God, get out of there, which I loved as well. It had a good balance of not being too cliche. It had a really a psychological thriller air about it as well, which I love.
That's an interesting thing that you kind of touched on because like a lot of people actually on the trailer, on the comments have been saying like, I would never do this, I would never do that.
Mm.
But like in our day to day, women do things that they don't want to do.
Well, exactly. We have that female intuition, but truth is stranger than fiction. Mankind, not just men, but people can be dark and that's sometimes the scarier thing, the truth, the reality, and we can be our own monsters and our own worst enemy. It doesn't have to be this crazy alien character. It can just be a simple mundane, seemingly mundane man, and they can be the creepiest and most horrible thing of all. Invasion of privacy, stuff like that. That tiny things that, like you said, we encounter every day. Cameras in Airbnb rooms. I think we were talking about that when we were starting on the project. These things all exist and you can't describe it, but you carry on because also sometimes we're gaslit to think maybe it's just us, but no, follow that intuition, follow your gut.
And I remember being 17 as
Mm.
as everybody, and I think that like you're just very much told to kind of trust those around you and be polite even when you don't really want to,
Yeah,
even when you know
yeah,
something's wrong as well. And that's the thing about Bonnie, like she does the sense that something's wrong, but she stays because of that, like I suppose societal idea that even if you think something's wrong as a child, you should
yeah.
still go it anyway. And
Yeah, trust your elders, blah blah blah. But actually, it's a bit of a myth. You
yeah.
shouldn't. Adults don't always know what they're doing, and they shouldn't always be in positions of power. Looking at backstory, like sort of where Bonnie's come from, why she needs this job, why she's looking for this job, and also costume really helped, which was great to have a bit of time beforehand as well. We're really lucky to delve into the kind of details on like little bracelets and even like her hair like that and the little hat, like simple things like that really helped me get into character and think about 17-year-old girl looking back at myself at that age. Yeah, thinking you know what's best for you and
Mhm.
and not really. But yeah, I'd say those things and yeah, just little things like that.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but I thought it would be a good
Mm,
to touch on.
do it. Oh, you don't. What was it? Oh, wait. No, wait.
Casting the other character was a bit of a journey for the both of us. I should probably reveal to everybody because initially I had casted somebody in the role of Mr. Roach off of a casting website, and
Yeah.
when we had brought them into the rehearsal room for the first time with me, Ruby, and this other man,
Mm.
he had decided to make some very sexually explicit comments towards me.
Hmm.
And he'd also done that at the beginning, during the day as well when I was speaking to our costume designer, who's also female.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I was very much filled with anger. I was very much filled with despair. But I think it's kind of like a beautiful irony in the sense of what we're talking about within this film. How
True.
we've actually casted somebody who kind of believes the values and the beliefs of the
Mm.
character as well. It's awful, but
Really
I just
weird.
yeah, maybe I just wanted you to take a moment to kind of like speak, I suppose, on that experience in a sense.
Yeah. Well, and again, like a little bit of you give someone the benefit of the doubt when it was happening. You almost think like, did I really hear that? Did he really just say that? But he was saying those things. And then it's weird. I did just trust you anyway. I was a bit like, I don't know what I would have done after I probably would have spoken to you, but in the moment I was just like, Angela, I trust her opinion. I just knew it wouldn't go any further. Whatever that meant, I just knew she wouldn't allow it to be uncomfortable, whether it got to the set or what, or thankfully it got stopped before then. But yeah, it's just relates to what we're talking about in the short film, that thing you sort of second guess yourself because that's what you're conditioned to do. And thankfully, when you get to a point in your life or an age, you start listening to yourself more and not letting that go. It was strange. It was really, yeah, like you said, it's really all fed into what we were trying to say in the short film. An actor, she acts, and she was like, "Yeah, we're going to talk about some costume after this," and then Zoom ended. She's like, "Okay, this ain't going further." I was like, "Thank you."
And then, we told him like, we ran out of budget.
Yeah. Putting all the stops up, like, yeah, sorry.
Yes, just speaking to like the wider industry, and I think,
Mm,
when this video goes out, this is like a direct message to like directors in general, is that if you bring an actor onto your set and they are making anybody feel uncomfortable, including yourself, and also that's another thing as well, to also check in with your actors to see how they feel with working.
yeah,
Again, if that discomfort is there, is like you need to remove that person from the set because it's just not going to work out. Doesn't
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
matter.
if it happens on multiple occasions, like take that as a pattern. It's going to show itself no matter what. It's going to rear its head.
Exactly. And I think just, far too often in this industry, there's been a massive complacency in that. And, the accountability
Mm.
of people has kind of underrided, who the
Yeah.
cast member is, how many credits they have, how much money they have. But for me,
Mm.
it is just like, at the end of the day, it's people's comfort that matters because,
Yeah.
people are coming into this space. I'm bringing them into this space and I want it to be a safe space for everybody. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh, thank you for that. And I feel like I speak for anyone on set that you really looked after us all and made sure we're all really comfortable, no matter what, if it was intimacy related or just, day to day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'd say things aren't always what they seem. I think it's the Joseph Conrad quote at the beginning. I feel like I'll paraphrase it, but along the lines of men can be, or mankind can be the worst of them all, or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that first quote, it's our own psyche and how people can get to a point where they feel like they can abuse someone or harass them in any form. It's real, and being a woman is dangerous, and it's political, and it's a lot of things. Just being born and just being a woman existing is a lot. The film is just a great watch as well, and I love that it's not too heavy on the message. It's subtle, and at the end, it's got a great little spoiler. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.